Alright, fellas. Oh yes, nice one. Nice bass. Third fish. This was a decent. Look at this fish. Decent. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, djmo Fishing. Today, I'm gonna be giving you hacks and tips that you can use to catch more bass on a pond from the bank, guys. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so I want to do this a little bit different. I'm gonna put all the catches I have today at the beginning of the video, and I'm gonna put the hacks and tips at the end, because a lot of people start talking and all you want to see is somebody catching a fish. So we're gonna put the catches first, and if you're interested in the tips and hacks, stick around and watch all the way through the end of the video, and you will get all the hacks and tips I got for you today. Got the first one, guys. It feels weird though. I don't know what this is. It doesn't feel like a bass, but it just feels so weird. Alright, fellas. Oh yes, nice one. Nice bass. Nice bass. Oh, look at the beauty. Stay on, stay on. Stay on. That's a nice one. Barely hooked. That's what I'm talking about right there. Look at that hook right there, guys. Just look at that hook. That's a decent bass right there, guys. We're looking for this fish all over. That's a nice fish right there. Look how it's a hook. Barely hooked the mouth. Skinny one. Definitely nice. Probably 2 pounder or so. Get this hook out. Look how it's barely hooked. Barely freaking hooked right there. So look at how this fish, he was sitting on a rock or something. Hook is out. Definitely sitting on a rock or something, but look at that fish right there. So we'll go ahead and do the intro, and then we're gonna release it. Alright guys, took us a minute to find this fish. I don't want to keep him outside the water. I honestly he didn't feel like a fish for a second. Come on, big buddy. His teeth are sharp, man. Come on. The water's hot, so he's pretty much exhausted. But come on. It's free to go now. Yeah, it's gone. We got one. Feisty fish. Oh. Here we go, fish number 2. He got a little deep, but we're gonna do a quick surgery on this fish. Come on, baby. You got it. Right, so he got a little deep, but we have to do surgery on this one. So we got the second fish of the day. He got the hook slightly deep, but should be able to get it out. Let me show you what to do here. So what you want to do is you want to put the hook through the gill. Alright, we need some more line. You gotta do this quick. Alright, so put it down. So what you want to do is see how the hook is deep. So you want to put the hook, and stick your fingers to the gills. So that you're going to grab the hook from the inside of the gills, just like that. There we go. Alright, there we go. It's bleeding a little bit, but it should be fine. Second fish of the day. Not a bad fish, guys. Not a bad fish. It's ready to go. Make sure that he's good. There he goes. I'll do a little bit of surgery on him. Not a bad fish. Second fish. Pond fishing, guys, is so rewarding. It can be difficult, but it is extremely rewarding. Got one. Oh, it's a nice one. It's another nice fish, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Nice fish. Oh, he got it good. There we go. Nice, beautiful fish right there. Perfect time. Do a thumbnail. Hi guys, third fish. This was a decent. Look at this fish. Decent fish, man. I'm gonna have to go down there. There he goes. He's going right there. Alright. Okay, those were actually decent fish, and I was happy to catch those. But let's get started with the hacks and tips. So first, what you want to do is you want to wear something that's going to camouflage you from the fish. So when you're fishing from shore, guys, you are stalking this fish. You want to look at it as you're hunting this fish down, because if you have a bright red shirt on and you're walking around the bank, the fish is going to see you before you've seen the fish. With that said, the other thing you want to keep in mind is that you want to cast before you get to the very edge of the water, so the fish is not aware that you're there. So sometimes I catch a lot of fish if I cast. If you saw one of the catches I have on the video, I cast it way before I got closer to the shore, and that fish bit right on the money. So with that said, you want to keep dark colors on you. I like to wear greens, dark greens, to blend with the vegetation, and I have dark pants. And also, with that said, guys, make sure you bring your sunglasses, guys, to be able to see better in the water. You guys know that glare of the sun sometimes doesn't let you see anything, so you want to bring sunglasses to be able to see on the water better, and sometimes you can actually spot the fish before they spot you that way. Going on the same thing, guys, you want to be aware of your movements. I don't like to make a lot of rockets. I don't like to just be moving around not aware of my movements when I'm walking around these ponds, because sometimes, you know, it can be real quiet when there's nobody around and you can spook fish. I spook so many fish, and I hate to do that, but it happens. But the more careful you are, treat it like you're hunting other than fishing. I mean, it's obviously not hunting, but you want to be aware of your movements and make sure you move through the woods slowly and keep your eyes open to see any activity, guys. Now, with that said, guys, you guys need to be on the move. You have to walk around the whole pond if it's possible. You have to keep trying different locations. You cannot stay, if you catch a fish on one spot, you can't stay just sitting there, guys. I mean, at the beginning when I started fishing, I catch a fish in one spot and I will fish that spot all day, probably catch one more fish, but it's not productive that way. You want to keep moving. You want to be walking around the whole pond if it's possible. I like to go around the whole pond, find the good spots, and I can see where the good spots are by locating the structure. Now, the structure can be a bunch of different things. You have laydowns, you have docks, you have different structures like big rocks. This pond actually has a gigantic rock on one side, so that is a good spot to try because it's something different than my whole fish. Now, there's another really important part on this pond right here that I'm fishing. That's where I caught one of the big fish that you saw earlier. Is actually a little stream that fits into the pond, guys, and that is actually bringing a lot of oxygen and fresh water, cooler water that fish like to hang around, probably a lot of bait fish as well. So those areas, you want to identify those really good areas based on structure so you can target those and catch more fish. With that said, when you're fishing a pond, guys, my recommendation as far as lures and baits go is to stay true to natural colors. I mean, depending what time of the year you're fishing, most people go out there on ponds during the summer, spring, maybe a little bit into the fall. Natural colors work best. My favorite color is green pumpkin with red flakes, and whatever you're using, you want to use something similar to that color. A lot of bass in this pond actually feed on bluegill, so most of the ponds in the country, especially in this area, in Georgia, down south, most bass feed on bluegill. So you want to be looking at something natural that looks like a bluegill, even though if you're not using a swim bait. Like if I use a Senko, I'm definitely using green pumpkin color with red flakes. So stick to the natural colors, earth colors, something that the bass is actually feeding on, and you will be more successful. Now, if you are fishing from the bank, guys, I recommend you to bring 2 rods at least. Okay, if you can bring 3, that's up to you, but try to bring 2 different rods so you have 2 different baits tied up. Sometimes the fish might miss your lure by a little bit and it's not gonna go for the same lure again, but if you switch it up to something different, you might be able to catch that fish. So for example, if you're fishing early in the morning using top water, you have a blowout but you didn't hook up, if you have a second rod, you can tie up a Senko and toss it out there immediately and you might be able to catch that fish. So bring 2 rods, bring 2 different, slightly different baits. Again, stick to natural colors and that will help you a lot. Now, as far as walking around the pond, guys, depending on where you're fishing at, if you're fishing like urban ponds, it might be a little different, but if you're not in an urban pond, you're out there in the woods, you have to be careful for snakes. I actually just saw one snake. She did not see me. The snake did not see me. He was actually swimming straight towards me until I moved, and that's because I got these green colors and black pants. That snake came really close to shore where I was. It was literally going directly where I was standing. Did not see me until I actually moved and then took off. So be aware of snakes, be aware of bugs. Bring bug sprays because bug spray can actually protect you from ticks, which are really, really bad. So stay aware that you are in a wild place. There's wildlife everywhere, snakes, bugs, spiders, stuff like that. So be aware of that if you're walking around the pond and you're trying to catch a fish. And sometimes I'm so focused on catching the fish, I'm not aware of my surroundings, and the last thing you want to do is step on a snake, guys. So especially if it's a venomous snake. And last but not least, guys, don't forget to stay hydrated. You're walking around, bring water. If you're gonna be out there for a couple hours, you make sure you bring some water. You don't want to catch a heat stroke out there while you're trying to catch a fish, guys. It's not good, especially on those hot days in summer. So stay hydrated, and then that will actually protect you from having a really, really bad problem in the woods. With that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, if you learned something in this video, don't forget to hit like, comment, subscribe, share. A lot of people watch these videos, but not a lot of people subscribe. So please go ahead and do that, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget I got a bunch of other videos on the channel about bass fishing, catfishing, baits, and a bunch of gear reviews. So with that said, check those out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.